Good morning, scholars. My name is Mrs. Haywood, and I will be teaching you a math subtraction lesson today. Okay, so before we get started, though, we need to go over a couple of things. There are rules and some procedures that are important to the success of our lesson. All right, so for rules, we have 3 of them. The first one is we're going to use a quiet thumb if we have questions or have anything to share. Keep a quiet thumb in front of our chest, not up here, not down here, but right in front of our chest. All right, so go ahead and show me your quiet thumb. Great, thank you very much. All right, rule number 2 is you're going to keep your eyes on the speaker. Remember that whoever is speaking, your attention needs to be on them out of respect. So if I'm speaking, your eyes are on me. If somebody in our class is speaking, your eyes are on them. Good. All right. Rule number 3 is you're going to think quietly. This is important because, again, you don't want to be a distraction to others and you don't want people to be a distraction to you. So you need to be thinking quietly. Those are our 3 rules. All right. So next we have some procedures. We will be working with partners throughout this lesson. So when I need you to come back and I need your attention, I'm going to ask you to sit in ready position. I will say ready position and count backwards from 5. When I get to 0, you need to be sitting quietly in ready position. Okay, so what does ready position look like? You're sitting quietly with your hands on your desk or in your lap. Your eyes are on your speaker and eyes are on me, and your mouth is quiet. All right, so that's ready position. Lastly, if I need to know that you understand something, I'm going to ask you if you got it. So I'm going to say got it, and then you're going to respond back, got it. Okay, so let's practice. Got it. Good. Great. So let's go ahead and get right into it, all right? So subtraction. It's important to know how to subtract because sometimes we're going to just need to know how much is left over when one quantity is taken away from another. So for example, okay, there's a boy named Nathan and he has a card collection of 253 cards. Okay, he sold 121 of them, and we need to know what the difference is. Okay, we need to know what the answer is. So that's why it's important to know how to subtract or how to use a strategy to find a solution. All right. So before we start the lesson, we need to know a couple of things. Some vocabulary words. The difference. When I refer to the difference, that means the solution or the answer. Okay. From previous lessons, we know that the number that we start with is called the minuend, and the number we're taking away from is the subtrahend. Now, when we find the answer from taking away the subtrahend from the minuend, that's called the difference. Okay, the answer is called the difference. What is it called? Good. Okay, so we also have the place value strategy. Place value strategy is the strategy that we're working on today. We'll be setting up a place value chart and then going over the steps to implement this strategy. Okay, next we have expanded form. Expanded form is our number broken apart into the values of each digit in the number. Okay, we use expanded form when we decompose a number, when we break apart a number, and we also use it when we find the solution on from our strategy. Last, for vocabulary, we have the standard form. That means that we're taking our broken apart number, our decomposed number, and we're composing it back. So we're taking those values and putting them back into a standard form number. All right, so here are the steps. There are 4 steps, and they're going to be on this chart. So if you ever need to refer back to it, it's here, but it's also going to be on your activity page. Okay, so step 1 is to decompose or to break apart, decompose the minuend. Remember, minuend is the first number. We're going to decompose the first number of the minuend into our place value chart. Then by ones, tens, and hundreds. Then you need to do the same thing for step number 2, but with the subtrahend. So the second number, you're going to decompose it into your place value chart. Step number 3 is to subtract the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. And it's important that you do it in this order. It's important. It's going to be important more later down the road later in the unit, but it's still important today to get into the habit of starting with the ones and moving left in your chart. All right. Step number 4, last but not least, is to write the difference in standard form. So you take your difference and you bring it up to your subtraction sentence and you write it next to the equal sign. Okay. So let's get started with our lesson. So the first part is just me. It's my time. I'm going to model one for you. Okay, here is the directions say to solve it using the place value strategy. Number 1 says 569 minus 432. Okay, the first step is to decompose the minuend into ones, tens, and hundreds on the place value chart. So I'm going to decompose my 569 into my chart. I wrote it already down here for you, but there's a 5 in the hundreds place, so I'm going to write 500. There's a 6 in my 10, so there's 60, and 9 in my ones place. Now we need to do the same thing for number 2, but the subtrahend. Okay, there's 4 in my hundreds, so I'm going to write 400. There's a 3 in my 10, so there's 30, and 2 in my ones. Okay, so that's step number 1 and number 2. Step number 3 is to subtract. So I'm going to starting with the ones, remember? So 9 minus 2 is 7. Then we have 60 minus 30 is 30. Then 500 minus 400 is 100. All right, so now that I have it in expanded form down here, after I did number 3, now all I need to do is step number 4 and write the difference, 137. Got it? Got it? Good, great job. So now let's do it together. We're gonna do pair share, and I will pull sticks to get your participation. All right. So turn and tell your partner what step number 1 is. Good. All right. So Josue, can you tell me what step number 1 is? Good. Decompose the minuend into ones, tens, and hundreds in the place value chart. Everett, can you tell me how to do number 1? Good. There's 8 in my hundreds in my minuend, so I'm going to write 800. There's a 7 in my tens, so I'm going to write 70, and 9 in my ones, so 9. Great. Good job. Thank you very much. Number 2. What is, turn and tell your partner what number 2 is. Good. Damari, can you tell me what step number 2 is? Right. Decompose the subtrahend into ones, tens, and hundreds on a place value chart. Good. All right. So, Carter, how do I do step number 2? Good. So there's 356. So we're going to take the 3 from the hundreds place and write it in the hundreds column. The 50, there's a 5 in the 10, so we're going to write 50. And 6 in my 1, so I'm going to write 6. Great job. Okay, turn and tell your partner what step number 3 is. Good. London, what is step number 3? Okay, good job. Prince, can you tell me how to do step number 3? Good. So you do you start here in the hundreds? Good. You start with the 1. So 9 minus 6 is good, and 70 minus 50 is 20. And 800 minus 300 is 500. Good job. All right. Turn and tell your partner what step number 4 is. Okay, ready, position, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Kaden, tell me what step number 4 is. Good, write the difference in standard form. So, okay, good job. Imani, how do I do step number 4? Okay, good job. Nicely done, boys and girls. All right, so now that I've shown you how to do it and we've worked on one together, it's your turn to practice by yourself. I want you to complete the page that says final check for understanding, and I will be walking around to check if you have done it successfully. If you are finished early, you can do the challenge problems on the back page. And if you have questions, remember that you're going to use the quiet thumb, and I will get to you as soon as I can. All right, go ahead and get started, boys and girls.